First of all, let me start by saying, for the people watching live, thank you to IMAX for hosting this event. One of the reasons we're here is because Deadpool is coming out in IMAX. So let's give a shout out for IMAX, and also...
Yes, thank you.
I love IMAX. I'm not just saying that, it's not just bullshit coming out of my mouth. Like, I love the format. For you guys, why should people see it in IMAX?
I had actually started talking to IMAX even before we did Deadpool. I basically called my agent and said, I want to do something in IMAX. I don't care what it is. I'll do a fucking nature film. I don't care what it is because I love the format. And I go with my daughter down to Science Center, and we'll watch 3 back-to-back IMAX. Just anything in IMAX is beautiful. So the fact that Deadpool is coming out in IMAX is amazing because Fox hadn't. The Martian was the first release.
But it wasn't released in IMAX.
Yeah.
Fox has never actually released a movie in IMAX. They've put a movie into IMAX after the release, which we did with Martian. But none of the X-Men movies have opened in IMAX.
And I'm under no illusion that my begging had anything to do with the change of heart that Fox had, but I'm so glad the timing was just right. I mean, look at this fucking screen. Why wouldn't you want to watch it that way?
Yeah.
And the sound is amazing. And this is the laser IMAX, but it looks almost as awesome in the regular IMAX. As awesome as it's going to look, because that sounds cocky, right? It looks as good as it could look in IMAX.
We should say that we're live on Periscope thanks to IMAX Twitter, and so we should point out director Tim Miller, producer Simon Kinberg, Deadpool creator Rob Liefeld.
Hello.
So making sure everyone knows. So there's a whole bunch of things to talk about, but is there anything we can do about the echo, or are we?
We have like 25 mics up here.
Yeah, seriously. No, hopefully we'll get better. I think I'm going to ask for people to ask questions in a little bit, but I definitely want to talk about this movie was greenlit in like a month. I mean, it came together so quick. Everything about this project was so fast. So talk a little bit about that and how quickly this got made.
I think it was a moment in time. I mean, I've been on it for almost 6 years now, and we tried to get it made before, and I think if you want to play with the themes of superhero movies and make fun of superhero movies, there has to be enough superhero movies out there in the world to make that idea work. And the fact that Deadpool's so meta, I think 6 years ago, it just didn't seem like it had the weight of all those other films being out there. There wasn't enough critical mass in the genre to make what Deadpool, making fun of the genre, really work. So in hindsight, I mean, I cried a river when we didn't get to make it the original time, but I think this was the right time to make it. But you're right, it happened really quickly. And it was this weird moment in time because I think the fans in the world were ready for something different in the genre. Some blessed person leaked my trailer. It was not me. I swear to God. And then Simon coming on board was huge. We had been begging Simon to help us because he is the all-powerful gatekeeper of Marvel franchises at Fox, and we needed Simon's help to get it done. And that had also been happening at the same time.
That's very kind. I got an email from Paul and Rhett, the writers, saying, and the title of the email was "Deadpool Needs Your Ass," and in the email was assistance. Summer Before Last, yes. And I had read the script before and loved the script, and I'd seen the test and loved the test, and so it was sort of at the 3-yard line, and I just sort of punched in the last 3 yards. But it was really that the studio was ready to make it, and I think, like you said, partly because the world was ready for a movie like this, because of the critical mass of movies in the genre, and also because Tim was able to make it or promise it and then deliver it at a price that was not the price point of the mega franchise X-Men, Dark Knight kind of movies. And so it could afford to be R-rated and radical and provocative because it was a slightly less daunting gamble.
Simon says it was at the 3-yard line, but it didn't feel like it was at the 3-yard line. I mean, it for me, I'm sure not a lot of people know how the movie business works, and this whole idea that there's a green light that suddenly turns on is this metaphor that I don't really think works. It's more like it's on a dimmer switch where it slowly turns from off to green. But in this case, it still wasn't a green light because you still have to do all the budgeting and all the other stuff. But it literally went from I was going to have a meeting over at Fox with Emma Watts, who I'd had lots of meetings with before, and none of them produced a go make this movie. But Emma called me before I was going to come over and said, "Are you ready? Strap in." And that was literally it. I mean, you said it was on 3. I think before that call, I thought it was on the 50, maybe. I mean, the fan reaction was good, but I thought I was in big trouble too. So, because I let some shit out that. Well, I didn't let it out. Shit got out.
Did we just get a confession?
Rephrase that. Some shit got out. Actually, it was Jonathan Comack Martin that released it. There he is, right there. He's Ryan's producing partner, and I'm pretty sure that he leaked the test.
That's amazing. One of the things I think it's a great story is I believe you didn't really follow the rules, if you will, about the proper etiquette of emailing studio heads. I believe you might have done things that were against the grain. Would you like to share anything that you did to help get this movie made?
Well, the first mistake Fox made was letting me have their emails. But yeah, I mean, look, if shameless begging and pleading and that sort of thing is against the grain, yes, I'm guilty. Because I did. I mean, I would write an email every month or so and say, who do I have to fuck to get this movie made, please, please, please. And Fox was always, they never gave up on it, and they were always very generous and to respond to my emails. And meetings kept happening, and changes to the script kept slowly moving forward, but not actually happening. Remember that green light metaphor I used a little while ago? But I never gave up, and Rhett and Paul, the writers particularly, never gave up. I mean, every couple of weeks I'd get a call like, what the fuck could we do? Jonathan was another one where, he'd call every month or so and go, what can we do? We did a 3D test. We took one of the scenes we did, and we talked one of the vendors into doing it in stereo, so because we thought that might be sexy, and Jonathan lined that up, and we tried everything to move the ball down the field and get people excited about what this could be.
I think one of the strengths of this film is that it's so different than the movies that have come before in the genre, and it is incredibly violent, incredibly R-rated, but incredibly fun. It's just like the whole time you're laughing and smiling. For all three of you, could sort of talk about the tone and what you feel this movie brings to the genre that hasn't been done before.
Simon.
Well, the tone comes from the comic, so I feel like actually, as much as we all created the tone in the movie, and certainly there was a lot of work to sort of balance the tone, it's entirely inspired by the books. I look at the movie and I'm like, it's a batshit crazy movie. I actually think the tone, in the best way, I think the tone is, I don't know how it works. I mean, it was one of the things I said to Tim, I think when we watched the first cut of the movie. You sent the cut of the movie to me in Montreal while I was shooting, was it Days of Future Past or Apocalypse? I think Apocalypse.
Yeah.
And I watched it and I was like, I don't even understand how it works, but it works. And it swerves inside of literally sometimes frames between comedy and action and romance and drama. In most movies, you can make a turn, and it's a sort of a slow turn, like a curve. But on this movie, it's just jagged, and it's all over the place, and yet occupies a sort of consistent tone. And that was, I don't know, the magic of the script and the direction and the inspiration. I mean, that's what the comic does.
Am I going to weigh in here? I'm going to tell you right now. No, listen, and Tim knows this, and Simon knows this. Look, I'm a huge fan of I come from comic books, 29 years in the comic book business, but I'm a huge fan of comic book films. And I can't believe the world we live in and the quality of the films that we've been getting in the last 6-7 years. I have 3 kids. They're 12, they're 13, they're 15. They've been my laboratory. They kind of teach me about pop culture and focus me. And this movie represents something completely different, a different flavor for them. and I just keep saying this again and again and again, and when you saw it, and what you saw tonight, all these great Marvel films that have been coming out over the last 6 or 7 years, they're very well made, including Simon's X-Men movies. But a lot of them, at the end of the day, Robert, how you doing? They're armored dudes battling armored dudes. I dare you to go watch the Avengers and close your eyes, and you're going to hear clank, 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 and a lot of clank, clank, clank. And this movie, I mean, he freaking cuts a dude's head off and kicks it into another dude, and you haven't seen that, and that is exciting. Okay, I mean, and my favorite was when Tim
For
said,
your kids.
No, I'm telling you, when I got to be 15, 16, I grew up 9 years old, watched Star Wars, loved Star Wars, but by the time I was 16 and 17, and I know a lot of you guys in here, we started seeing Alien and Aliens and Terminator 2 and Lethal Weapon movies, Die Hard, and people forget, those were all R. I grew up on R-rated action films, and you didn't blink. That's just what existed, and we've gotten into this kind of family-friendly space. And Deadpool just trashes that. And that's the beauty of it. And I know it is the new flavor. It's like, I keep telling people, everything you've gotten is the best vanilla you could ever have. Like Breyer's vanilla. It's quality, it's good stuff. But this is like mint chip. It's Oreo. Like, you haven't had this flavor yet. And I know for certain, my son and all his little private school buddies, who have their dad soliciting me, hey Rob, what do you think about this? I think you should see it. They're ready for this kind of film. And I've told Tim, and you know what, my opinion really doesn't matter. Let's go to the godfather of comics. He's not here tonight, but Stan Lee, after seeing this 2 weeks ago, and we were walking out after doing a thing just like this, and Stan, who's in the damn movie, I mean, come on, he was on set, but he had never seen it put together. And afterwards, he grabbed my shoulders and he said, Rob, this is a game changer. It's a game changer. And I said, if Stan says it, it's real. You know? So believe you, I think the tone, I think this movie is an influencer. I think the work, and we can't praise the work that Rhett and Paul did from the beginning. Page 1, Deadpool, the script they wrote, opens with Juice Newton. And you go, did I just read that it says Juice Newton? And that Angel of the Morning, that is true to what they put on the page. And like Simon said, it's crazy. It's a batshit crazy movie. And it was crazy from the script. And the fact that Simon came on board, like Tim said, Simon has, since I think X-Men First Class, he has really been guiding the ship. And that's why the X-Men movies continue to improve and continue to do better and build on the last one. And Simon came out and he championed. And Tim let me know, Rob, Simon championed this film. He got this, and 50-yard line, 3-yard line, whatever. It's here, it's made, we saw it. You know, so that's exciting, and it's an influencer. It's going to change everything that comes after it.
2 questions, and I'm going to open it up to the audience. Talk a little bit about, Ryan is so good in this role. You've got to share some really wacky or fun story for each of you behind the scenes, because I'm sure his producing partner wants you to embarrass him.
Well, there was that hand job. No. No, Ryan is great, and the beauty of him is that he is this character. You know, his DNA is all over it, and I don't mean. Because he started right after Wolverine. Let's forget about that. But right after Wolverine, he started working on the script with the writer. So I mean, I think he was attracted to Deadpool because the character is very much like him. But then as they developed the script, it became even more like him. And I just think he was brilliant. Not only that, I mean, the comedy is there for sure, but he's a great dramatic actor, and I feel like what's different about this, like the action stuff is great. I love it. It's cool. But unless you care about the characters when shit starts blowing up, then the movie's not going to really work in a complete way. And I care about their love story. I hope you guys did too. But I mean, I really felt a connection between them. I felt sorry for Wade. I felt happy when they get back together. And it's that personal story that kind of makes the rest of the movie work, I think. And maybe that's the thing that holds the tone together, that is trying to pull it apart the rest of the time. But I think Ryan does that so amazingly well. But I mean, fuck, there were so many moments. But my favorite one was right before we started the first day of filming, which was the the blind owl stuff in the Deadpool's lair was the first stuff we filmed. Anyway, on the first day, Ryan comes in and he's in makeup and he's like, Tim, come here. And he grabs Paul and Rhett and I think something's wrong. Like Fox has come to their senses and called and said, oh, you can't make this movie. And he pulls us into another room and he goes, guys, we're fucking making this movie. He's like, it's been 11 years for me and we're making this movie. Let's just stop and think about that for a second. And there was nobody else. The crew wasn't in there. It was just us four in that little room. And it was a beautiful moment. And then we went out and made that movie right there.
I think what he does as an actor is up on the screen. The other part of it that was impressive to me, and I haven't really seen before, frankly, from an actor, is how much he's involved in a lot of infinitesimal, even invisible decisions that aren't just about his character and about the comedy. That are like, I turned to Tim one point in the screening tonight and I said, there's a ADR line, there's a line from Colossus when Gina is like her
boobs hanging out.
Her boobs hanging out. Thanks. And he goes, "Oh, you're a beautiful woman," and that was a line that Ryan riffed for Colossus, and that's not a line that you would attribute to Deadpool or to Ryan Reynolds. But there's tons of stuff like that in the movie that are just little touches, moments, lines, like I'd say, invisible ideas that sort of create the tapestry and texture of the film. And that I haven't really seen. Most actors, when they're inside a character, and this inside a character, they don't have a perspective. They actually don't see the overall story. They don't see other characters. And Ryan can be both inside and have perspective at the same time, which is unique.
I just want to add that we're not giving enough respect to the fact that Tim and all these guys, they beat the shit out of Ryan in this movie. I mean, he gave himself physically over to this film in a way I'm not sure a lot of guys would. I mean, when he's in the workshop, hanging from the chains, and then when he's coming up from the soot and the crap they bury him under, and Tim told me today, they had, he had a mask on underneath there, because I mean, they put that stuff on top of him. That didn't happen in one cut. That's cut 2, cut 3, cut 4. I mean, he gave himself over. That leather costume or whatever material, that's very constricting. So I just
Leather.
The guy, Ryan Reynolds, is my hero. He's going to be your hero. He is our hero. I mean, he delivered this incredible performance and gave himself physically. I was joking with Tim. I'm like, when he's hanging in the workshop dangling and they're punching him, and Tim goes, "Yeah, I tried hanging like that. That hurt. That hurt like after 60 seconds." I mean, he gave
60,
himself over
like
to this
3.
movie.
Yeah, right. He did. He suffered, and you'd think since he was involved with writing it, he would have been a little smarter, because the whole movie is like designed to make him physically uncomfortable. The costume is uncomfortable. The makeup is hideously uncomfortable. After he would shoot for 3 or 4 hours, it's hot on set sometimes. And he would get like a cup full of water built up between the mask and his skin there. And it had no place to go, so it just sat there under his skin. And as soon as we did the final shot of the day and we're safe, he would start pulling that shit off, like right away, like in a frenzy to get it off his face but he was always a great sport about it. I mean, he was always like, if you need another one, I'll do another one. But if you're done, get the shit off my face. And then he's in a punch bowl and he's gasping. And even though it's acting, you got to really choke yourself to get red in the face and full of blood, and it's not comfortable. There was nothing comfortable except for maybe the sex montage. But even that's not all that comfortable. It looks more fun than it is. It's awkward with 40 people around.
My last
Unless you roll that way.
half this audience. Last quick question, then we're going to open it up. There's been a lot of talk. Listen, I think the cut you're releasing in theaters is, I'm not going to swear, is great. And I think everyone should go see it in theaters, but let's be honest, a lot of people are going to see it on home video as well. There's been a lot of conjecture and talk about a director's cut. Is that actually happening? What can you say? Can you clarify?
I don't want to be all Joss Whedon on you, but there's not. TJ TJ talks some shit sometimes, and there is some deleted scenes that have some extra stuff, but I'm pretty happy with this cut.
Yeah.
So I like it. Simon made me take out one or two things.
What did I make you take out? I made you take out. I didn't make you take out anything, but I felt like
Simon strongly suggested that I take out. Tim, if you want to work in the X-Men movie world, I think you should think about it. No, he did not. He did not.
You're a grown man. You can make grown man decisions.
He never said you must take it out, but the mafia also doesn't say you have to pay them. But anyway, there's some stuff on the DVD extra. I had a little more workshop fight in there that I liked. That's the beat that we were talking about. He's like, Tim, it's violent enough, please. And I'm like, oh no, but man, when he stomps it on his face, it's awesome. And Simon's like, no, we got enough. Yeah.
He was right, but for the Blu-ray, it's going to be great.
Yeah, and there's a ton of because these guys are such great improv actors, TJ and Ryan especially, in their scenes, there's like 500 alts for every line. So I mean, I don't even know how you do that in the DVD other than just basically do it like a montage of the same line over and over again.
It's in the gag reel.
The gag reel, I know, but like as a deleted scene, it's not really like we have a deleted scene. There's just 400 other options that we didn't choose because those guys just go and go and go inside of each take. It's not even like they're separate takes in the fight when he's saying you look like a avocado fucked an older avocado. There's like Shrek jokes, trucker shit on your head. I mean, we just let them go and go and go. And TJ, it was like stand up. It was stand up improv for hours.
That scene, Ryan, he's so generous. He just at the beginning of that shooting he just said, dude, this is your scene, man. You just go. You just go. I'm just going to stand back here and support. And he did. TJ just, man, the guy's an alt factory, man. It's crazy.
Let's open it up so we can get at least a few quick questions.
One of the great things about this movie is the marketing campaign, which has to be one of the most innovative and incredible marketing campaigns ever mounted for, especially a franchise feature film for a studio. How was that done? Was it presented to you guys? And how much input did you have?
I'll start and then
Sure.
you can finish. They brought us in and showed us a bunch of the initial material, Ryan and I and Simon, and all I did was applaud. And then after that, I just stayed the fuck out of the way because it was clear that they got the character and they got the whole opportunity that we have with a character that can break the fourth wall, that he can talk about his own movie, he can do all this other stuff, and then it just rolled out of there. And then they brought the writers in to help, and they did all those little PSAs. And man, I wish I could take some credit for it, but really I did absolutely nothing.
I don't know if that's
Except
true.
laugh.
Yeah,
It's
I mean
true.
that was my role too. Nothing except laugh. Yeah, I mean the writers and Ryan were involved and helped them write stuff. But I agree. I mean I think it's the most original marketing campaign. And usually with an original marketing campaign, you have a singular idea. Like District 9 was a singular, really good idea, but it was a repeated idea. And this is like 10, 15, 20 different, completely original ideas, like the joke romantic comedy billboard, and then like the emoji billboard. And I mean, it's just like one idea after another. And I think they were inspired by the freedom of the tone. And the person that runs marketing at Fox is a guy named Mark Weinstock, who has had a lot of success and likes marketing R-rated comedies. And so I think the collision of R-rated comedy with action movie for him sort of unlocked something. And he had a lot of ideas.
Oh my God, he was so excited. I mean, he looked like a kid in a candy store every time.
Yeah.
But just to illustrate how clueless I was, when Patton Oswalt tweeted the big billboard with the shit that was the first time I'd seen it. So it was amazing. I'm like, oh my God, that's great. I want to see that movie.
Next question, right over there. Microphone.
Great movie. Thank you, IMAX, for letting us all come to your theater and see it. That was amazing. Question was, and I understand if you can't divulge it, but I actually read an article, I think a week ago. What exactly was the joke or the scene that you had to take out? And I thought I read, I might be mistaken, I thought it was an alternative take that T.J. Miller had in that scene, actually, where he and...
TJ, there were some jokes in there that were, like Freddy Krueger face fucked the topographical. Well, there were originally some references to actual people instead of Freddy Krueger, and I just thought we were better than that.
It's amazing where you draw the line.
I know, it's weird, right? So it was that. It was one of those things where it's like drunk tweeting, you know? They wrote this scene and TJ and Ryan were riffing and it was really funny. And we're all laughing, and then the next day I read it again. I'm like, oh, this is mean, man. We can't do this. And the Freddy Krueger thing, it hurts no one but mythical horror film
Demons.
Demons, yes. So. But that was it.
Right there.
I've been a fan of this property for 20 years, so after watching that, I had 3 words, which is fuck Tim Miller. I said it the right way, too. I said it the right way, I believe. I'm curious about the rated R rating. I'm curious how hard that was to do, how hard that was to pitch, because there's really no way in my mind and in fans' minds, I think, to do Deadpool PG-13. So I'm curious about that as far as Fox is concerned and also getting that through Marvel.
Go ahead, Simon.
I think we all agree that there wasn't a PG-13 version of the movie, though. Over the span of that however many years where people were developing it and trying to get it made, I know there was a moment of like, well, will you make it if it's PG-13? And then luckily Fox said no still. They wouldn't make it even PG-13. And then by the time everybody was ready for the movie to be made, I think we all felt like you're taking a gamble on something and kind of have to go all in on that thing. So R-rated was from the beginning. I mean, I don't know how, like this movie, we were talking about like the airplane version of it, like how to edit it down to watch on an airplane. And it's like, it would be 6 minutes long, you know? So I
Simon, there is an airplane version.
No, I know,
Yeah,
I know. I can't even imagine though it being coherent. So the studio was committed from the beginning of certainly having greenlit the movie, even though up to that point it took a long time, it being R-rated. But you can talk about how hard it was to get to that point.
No, I would, I was there when we did the PG-13 draft, and look, I'm as happy as anybody that it was R, but it wasn't horrible. We had to cut a few jokes, but it wasn't that bad. Where I think it really would have fucked us was when we were on set, having to worry about that all the time, having the studio have to worry about that all the time, would have really inhibited us creatively in a lot of ways. You said, oh, the violence, it's crazy. And the sex, it just doesn't seem that crazy to me. I feel
There's
like
not much sex in the movie.
No, and
It's
I
pretty
think the
tame.
violence is pretty reasonable.
That I don't agree with, but
We're not cutting people in half, or
yeah, we actually do cut someone in half. Yeah, he does actually cut someone in half.
we did. We cut a head off. That joke was Ryan's. The soccer head.
Here's the thing, though, and I'm getting the wrap-up signal from Fox. Clearly,
They're like, stop him now.
It's done so well to this point.
The thing is, like, for the comic book genre to survive, it has to, be reinvigorated with new ideas and stuff that hasn't been done before. And it's the reason why Winter Soldier was so good. It's why Guardians of the Galaxy was so good, and it's why Deadpool is so good. Sometimes those X-Men movies are good too.
No, listen, I think people also forget some of the movies that preceded, like Guardians and this movie. Iron Man was really radical when it came out. Like that was a tone that nobody had seen in a comic book movie before. When Brian made the first X-Men movie, that was radical. He started a movie dramatically in a concentration camp. When Chris Nolan made the first Dark Knight movie, again, like they created a new tone each time, and it was a game changer, each one of those films. And I think that hopefully Deadpool fits into that lineage, but every few years, even movies like Blade, when Blade came out, that was a radical comic book adaptation, and obviously what Tim Burton did. So each few years, I do think there's a reinvention, and then things follow for a while, and then somebody comes in again and innovates the genre, and that's how genres, that's how Westerns, that's how every genre remains relevant, is that every few years, some filmmaker comes in and makes it batshit crazy again.
But I think you can, and to answer your question earlier, I mean, what about the marvel of it all? you know, I know all those guys over at Marvel, and they wished us nothing but success. But also, they're owned by Disney, and they can't do this. And that's why I think it was such a great idea that Fox, or an opportunity that Fox could. They can say, hey, listen, there's a market for this, and the fans want to see it, and these are stories that are worth telling. So let's tell them, regardless of rating.
Sure, I'm going to get killed, but I have to ask one quick last thing of Mr. Kinberg. Do you think that if this is successful, which fingers crossed I really want it to be, do you think there's other properties in the Fox library that lend themselves to the R rating? Or do you think that, like with X-Men and those kind of, New Mutants or X-Force, do you see those as PG-13?
I think there's some stories that could be R-rated. I don't know what they are. I mean, I think the mainline X-Men movies have their own tone, which is a more operatic tone. It's more dramatic. It is more PG-13, actually, in a way. But I mean, X-Force I could see being R-rated.
X-Force.
I've heard of that.
And who knows?
They're the Black Ops X-Men.
I just hope you know that tomorrow's headline is going to be Simon Kinberg, X-Force. X-Force
Yeah.
will be R-rated.
Saying, I could imagine a universe in which.
Sure. We have to wrap there. I'm getting that signal. I'm going to say from everyone, hopefully everyone had a really good time tonight. Huge thank you to 20th Century Fox. Huge thank you to IMAX. And a huge thank you to the three of you for agreeing to do this Q&A, talk about Deadpool so early before release. I sincerely say thank you.
Thank you.
Stephen.
Pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
I didn't ask to be super, and I'm no hero. But when you find out your worst enemy is after your best girl, the time has come to be a fucking superhero. Right up Main Street. Hear the music.
X gon' give it to you. Fuck, wait for you to get it on your own. X gon' deliver to you.
We can't allow this, Deadpool.
I don't have time for your X-Men bullshit, Colossus.
Besides, nobody's getting hurt.
That guy was up there before we got here.
Knock, knock, open
I
up.
played a lot of roles. Damsel in distress ain't one of them.
You gonna rock.
Time to make the chimmy fucking chongas.
Rock, don't let it go.
Have you seen this man?
I never say this, but don't swallow. Shit. Did I leave the stove on?
X gon' give it to you.
Yeah, you're way too much dude for me. That's why I brought him.
I mean, that's why I brought her? Oh, no, finish your tweet. That's fine. Just give us a second. Go get her, Tiger. Oh, I so pity the dude who pressures her into prom sex.